Just I want to share again something very personal. Anything that helps you, I'm going to share with you. At 60, I thought I should go home, but I was asked to stay. Then I thought, how do I cope? I should be going home, reading, maybe sharing these thoughts like this. Go to Sri and help Vijay, do an occasional session with young SLAs recruits, sit down and talk to them, be a mentor, but exactly what I want to do, maybe author 1 or 2 books, go back to the university and start teaching. Some of you, I have worked with you at the BIM, so like that, go back. That's a place that I love. But I couldn't do that. I started doing yoga at 60. People won't even think of doing yoga at 60. After 2 years, I'm telling you, I feel extremely fit to handle anything. I don't feel stressed at all. So start thinking about, they say, a nice book which I read, it talks about the 24 hours. But it asks a very important question. Surely 23 and a half hours, that is 23 and 30 minutes, you work for the rest of the world. But 30 minutes surely can't you keep for yourself? Very important. So physical fitness is important. Self-awareness and self-management. Know your strengths, know your weaknesses. If you don't know your weaknesses, if you think it is a strength, you will go and mess up. But when you know your weakness, you will not come to a situation where it is highlighted. But if it is a strength, how do you capitalize on it? So knowing yourself is extremely important. What can you do, what can't you do? Those things that you can't do, but what needs to be done, then you will start learning. And that is where the learning comes in, having understood. Not just reading everything in the world, you can't do that. Then organize your environment. This is extremely valuable and important. Your own work area. I don't want to say who it is, I worked for a boss. Many years ago, I was only a deputy director at that time. If you had a table of this size, the whole table was full of files, papers, books, anything, circulars. None of us could ever retrieve it, but he could. But what is the point? And he went to the cardiology unit for 2 weeks, having had a heart attack. Oh God, no one could find a file here. All our files, every damn thing was there, even my personal file was on that. That's not the way to work. So your own work area, you need to have very well organized. But I think it's a great improvement. I see offices beautifully done. Then your work outfit. Who works for you? When you are a secretary, you will have your own personal staff. How are they trained? Do they understand what you say? It must be so that even when you look at them, they should be able to understand, this is what my boss wants. That's the kind of staff you should have. Your work outfit. Organizing the daily mail. I'm going to very simple stuff, but often forgotten. My daily mail is sorted into 5 areas. Fortunately, I have a damn good staff. My daily mail is sorted into urgent and important, not urgent but important. Coming from COIS, if you look at that quadrant of the urgent, important, this thing, if you start reading, I think that's the 3rd habit. Then I have faxes. Why do people send fax? I want your attention very quickly. If I look at it 2 days later, someone might be dead by that time. Unfortunately, I'm going to talk about this as well. Then I have other unclassified things which I need to know, which are copied to me, which are not directly addressed to me, but for my information. I can probably keep it. When I'm a little bit free, I can get it. I also get, of course, I have another group which comes, letters that are addressed to His Excellency the President, which I have to deal with. Letters addressed to me by the ministers and deputy ministers, members of parliament, which also needs a lot of priority. And then I have, unfortunately, complaints against public officials, which I've never had when I started in 2006. The people have started writing to me on bribery, on corruption, on things which they shouldn't be doing. This is growing. I don't want to have a file like that. That is a barometer. That is a meter or yardstick by which the public service is being measured. If that gets about this much, I think I need to go home. Can't handle that. I don't want people to be hounding people in the public service saying that he has said this and that and he had done this. That is why a sense of integrity and honesty is lacking. then how do you motivate your fellows and colleagues? If you think you can do anything alone, please take it from me. 36 years in the public service, I can tell you, nothing can be done alone. I can't do anything alone. Someone is there to help you, must be there to help you. Start the process, refine the process, and that's what you all should do as additional secretary. Refine it before it goes to your top, and then of course you handle it. So how do you motivate your fellows and colleagues? When they do something good, do you motivate them, you commend them, or do you just take their credit? I just want to again highlight something. In 1983, I was taken, maybe in 1986, Douglas was around at that time with me. My boss, Mr. Charita Ratwata, took me to the then President, President Jayawardena. For an assistant secretary in a ministry to go before the President was a very rarity those days. Absolutely rare. No way. But I was taken there. I didn't know why I was taken there. Mr. Ratwata asked me to come and I went with him. And the President commended Mr. Ratwata for having done a job within a short time. Very important activity. And then he just turned around and said, this is the man who did it. And I didn't know until I was commended in the presence of the President. I have never forgotten it. And I will never forget it. That is the strength of motivation. You think I was not motivated? I was absolutely motivated. To work double, triple. Didn't bother the hours I worked. But I thought, here is a boss who has recognized what I do. Recognition is extremely important. Leaders, you are leaders. You have to work more. Don't say, I am also doing something. You have to do much more than your colleagues and your subordinates. So long work hours, holidays. There's nothing called holidays for a leader. Be a secretary to a ministry, 24 hours of the job. 365 days. That is what it is all about. So as you go up the ladder, the crown is there, but the crown gets tighter on your head. That is what is important to understand. Then enhance the quality of your inputs. How? By reading general magazines like Economist, the Time. These are things that can help you. You have internet, using IT profusely to organize your work, helps you to organize, helps you to do things very quickly, efficiently. I have everything in my iPad, everything that I do. My timetables, my contacts, whatever I go and say, I talk anywhere else, I have all these here. Important things, my reminders, using IT. So that has helped me a lot. Finally, that's why I kept it finally to say, please learn to manage anger. That can destroy you. I don't want to see someone who is very capable, very knowledgeable, very articulate, who can write, who can read very well, but gets angry at the slightest thing. You won't be accepted. Manage. Learn to control and manage your anger. Be seen as someone who will not sway, who will not be pushed around, who will not just succumb to pressure, who will be absolutely, in the eyes of others, you must look confident. And that can come to you only if you can manage your emotions. And that is why I said, if you have time, take it and read it, Emotional Intelligence by Daniel Goleman. If you go to internet and put emotional intelligence, in 1996-97, there would have been only 5 or 10 sites. Today I think it's millions. So many people have written about it. But to be an emotionally intelligent leader is finally what everybody expects you to do, because that covers almost a whole lot of things. So friends, thank you so much, and I wish you the very best. Make the best use of this kind of workshop. I am telling you because whenever I was asked to sit at a workshop, I spent all my time listening to the resource persons, questioning them, clarifying things, because I want to go out of this workshop after 4 days fully empowered, having filled all the gaps. That is the important thing. Don't think this as a holiday. It is not. You guys are too important to feel like that. When you join the public service, right there, maybe 25, 30 years ago, you could have thought like that, but not today. today you are important. Every little information that comes to you will make you a better person. So please give that very serious thought, this whole process of learning. Keep on learning. But I also want to assure you that don't just worry about anything else. Sharpen every possible knowledge that you have. You will be recognized. Thank you.